The message of the Hanukkah menorah is that light is stronger than darkness.
Now at 8 o'clock, the local Jewish community coming together after two gunmen, a father and a son, target a Hanukkah celebration in Australia. We're going to hear from a local rabbi who knew one of the victims. Also this morning, a rescue mission is now a recovery mission after a climber went missing on Mount Hood. We're going to have more on what happened and the effort to find him. And later at 8:30, it's the last week of the local Christmas Ships Parade, so we're going to take a look at some of this year's most creative designs and decorations. The 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now. Good morning and thanks for joining us on this Monday edition of the Sunrise Show. I'm Drew Carney. We take roll call. China Green, absent. Rod Hill, absent. But Chris McGinnis, very much present, ready to handle weather and traffic.
Two clickers, one for each job. We'll start off with the weather clicker. It is wet out there this morning, of course. We picked up about a half an inch of rain since midnight. The steady soaking that we had earlier today will begin to taper off in favor of occasional showers. That's not to say that those showers may not from time to time be quite heavy, but in any event, this is the wettest part of our day this morning. We should see that rain ease off later. We have had some lightning strikes reported in the last hour in portions of Clatsop County, just east of Astoria. So, yeah, thunder even in the cards today to go along with the very mild weather. Out the door, 53 degrees last check in Vancouver. It's 52 right now at the airport where the breeze is out of the east-southeast at 13. I want to talk about the breeze real quick because that will be a factor as we go through the morning. The south wind now is up to 18 miles an hour sustained in Salem with a temperature of 54. Futurecast has those wind gusts getting upwards to maybe 30 miles an hour for a time this morning in between the showers and the few sun breaks that we may see. Even gustier wind possible tomorrow night. All right, the plan for today, record warmth to go along with those occasional showers. Today's record at PDX is 59. I've got us one better at 60 this afternoon. All right, let's see how the rain is impacting the roads. For that, we start off with a look at the freeways. I-5 through North Portland. That's the live look right now on the lower left-hand part of your screen. That's up near the Expo Center. That is slow and steady for sure from Clark County, as always, right? Over in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, that's the northbound I-5 drive coming in from Wilsonville. At last check, that's down to, or up to, I should say, 34 minutes. Your drive across the Columbia, not bad on the Glen Jackson Bridge, but slow across the Interstate Bridge. I-5 right now, Main Street to the Fremont, is up to 22 minutes. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. We start our 8 o'clock news headlines with this breaking news out of Los Angeles. Police say they've arrested the son of actor and director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. The couple was found stabbed to death in their LA area home on Sunday. Jail records show 32-year-old Nick Reiner is being held on $4 million bail after he was booked on a felony charge earlier this morning. We'll have much more on Rob Reiner's career and his impact on Hollywood coming up here in about 20 minutes.
You know, a Jewish event where terrorists and murderers, went to kill Jewish people celebrating Hanukkah. It's just unbelievable that in Australia this is allowed to happen.
In Australia, police say 15 people died and more than 24 others are in the hospital after a mass shooting on a beach in Sydney. Officials are calling this a terrorist attack that targeted Jewish people celebrating the first day of Hanukkah. The 15 dead include a rabbi, a Holocaust survivor, and a 10-year-old girl. Police identified the suspects here as a 50-year-old father and his 24-year-old son. Police shot and killed the father. The son remains in critical condition in police custody. Australia's Prime Minister called this shooting an evil act of anti-Semitism.
Today, all Australians wrap our arms around them and say, we stand with you. We will do whatever is necessary to stamp out anti-Semitism. It is a scourge and we will eradicate it together.
During the chaos and the gunfire, there was also this act of heroism. Take a look, a bystander jumping into action. He wrestled one of the gunmen and pulled a weapon out of his hands. Police believe the father and the son were the only suspects involved in the attack. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live now at Pioneer Courthouse Square in downtown Portland with local reaction to that shooting. Thomas?
Hey, good morning, Drew. And yeah, people here at Pioneer Courthouse Square on the first night of Hanukkah last night told us that they were gutted by the massacre in Australia, though they add that they will not live in fear after this shooting. Hundreds of people gathered in Pioneer Courthouse Square for the first night of the candle lighting for Hanukkah in both celebration and solemn solidarity. After 15 people were killed in Australia, The victims range in age from 10 to 87 years old. We spoke to a Portland rabbi who tells us he knows one of the victims, a fellow rabbi who was killed. Other people who attended the candle lighting say they refuse to be scared by anti-Semitism.
I'm going to come down here because I'm not going to let fear deter me.
We're not going away. We're not hiding. We are here. We have the right to be safe. We want to feel safe. And we want to make sure that our community leaders also understand the Jewish community is here and to help keep us safe.
Every night, a candle will be lit as part of the menorah behind us until Sunday as part of the Hanukkah celebration here at Pioneer Courthouse Square. In the meantime, Portland police add that they have ramped up patrols not only at Jewish celebrations like the one we're seeing here downtown, but also at places of worship like synagogues. Drew?
All right, Thomas Schultz live for us this morning at Pioneer Courthouse Square.
We had planned to hold our holiday light celebration here today, and instead, we are gathered here to share light with one another in one of Providence's darkest times.
This was the scene last night in Providence, Rhode Island. Organizers turning what was supposed to be a Christmas tree and menorah lighting event into a vigil following this weekend's shooting at Brown University. Police detained a person of interest on Sunday only to release them from custody about 12 hours later. They say evidence points to a different suspect at this point. The shooting happened on Saturday, leaving 2 people dead and 9 others hurt. The university was placed on lockdown while hundreds of officers searched the campus for the shooter. That lockdown was lifted early Sunday, but authorities still haven't released any information about a potential motive.
Absolutely, this is a huge wake-up call for everybody that has been affected, and just everybody in the country in general. I think gun violence is a huge issue, and this is truly so tragic that we're seeing these events happen over and over again. And so I think something definitely needs to be done.
Brown canceled all remaining classes, exams, paper deadlines, and projects for the semester, telling students that they were clear to leave campus. In other local headlines, police arrested 3 suspects accused of robbing and shooting someone at an apartment in Kaiser, leaving them with life-threatening injuries. This attack happened in late October at an apartment on McGee Court Northeast. The charges against the 3 suspects, 2 men and 1 woman, include attempted murder. Police also seized a handgun while serving search warrants. A shooting in southeast Portland over the weekend left 2 people hurt. This happened Saturday morning near Southeast 127th and Stark. An officer said they heard shots and saw people running from a parking lot. Police found one of the injured people nearby. The other person went to a hospital. Investigators are asking witnesses to reach out to Portland police. The Hood River County Sheriff's Office suspended the search for a 26-year-old man who was last seen trying to climb Mount Hood. The Sheriff's Office says Matthew Aldridge reportedly kept climbing up the mountain by himself, even though 2 other climbers with him had turned back because of declining conditions. Phone data suggests that Aldridge fell at some point, but efforts to find him both on the ground and in the air have been unsuccessful. This search is now considered a recovery mission. In Multnomah County, the Sheriff's Office is asking for help to find this missing woman. 58-year-old Kelly Fuller was last seen Saturday afternoon in the parking lot of the Troutdale Safeway on Southeast Stark Street. The Sheriff's Office says she has dementia and can't care for herself. She's only 4'11", about 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. If you see her, call 911, or if you have any information about where she may be, you can reach out to the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. All right, take a look at this now. Jim's Ice Cream Shop in Hillsborough, back in business more than 12 months after a car had crashed through the building on Thanksgiving Day of last year.
We have all, the city of Hillsborough, waited since last Thanksgiving for this place to be able to reopen and to come and support Adrienne and her family with Jim's.
Who doesn't want to have opening day and have a whole line going, it made me happy.
Very cool to see that line in Hillsborough. The owner, by the way, gave credit to customers and the community for raising money to help get the shop back open. We said earlier this morning, Chris, about 2 hours ago, not exactly ice cream weather this time of the year, but cool to see that line for that shop. We do have more rain in the forecast for the rest of today.
Yeah, we do the rest of today and the rest of this week. This is a really active 3rd week of December, Drew. So not only did we have some rain, but some wind, some record high temperatures, and also a return to snow in the Cascades. That is all what's coming our way over the next couple of days here. Okay, so radar, let me go back and show you that again. What's interesting about this is 3 hours of radar data. We were getting soaked earlier this morning. We're getting a little reprieve in that the steady rain is beginning to taper off in favor of occasional showers, but we're still going to be pretty wet. This is the wettest part of our day for sure. Also, if you look closely, about an hour ago, we had a lightning or a track of some lightning strikes here across Clatsop County with that band of, let's track it right there it goes, and now it's working its way on up into the Washington Cascades. So it's possible that we hear a few rumbles of thunder today as well to go along with any of the showers that we have out there. Futurecast does show the shower trend diminishing as we get into the afternoon. It even tries to poke some holes in the cloud cover. That does a couple of things. One, that allows us to tap into some of the really gusty wind that's aloft, and it also allows us to really warm up. So a couple of things here. We've got a wind advisory in the Coast Range for the higher terrain there, and also out across portions of the Columbia Basin. Increasing south winds in the valley and the coast today will be really noticeable to the tune of maybe 20 to 30 miles an hour here in Portland and Salem, and obviously gustier than that in the higher terrain of the Coast Range. If you've got travel through the Coast Range today, today's the day to really be alert for possible downed trees, power lines, etc. in the Coast Range. All right, 52, last check at PDX. Now, the breeze is out of the southeast right now. We will warm up to about 60 or 61. The record high for today is 59. So this would be our third day in the 60s in the month of December. That is unbelievably warm. Say hello to Cliff. Cliff is hanging out for the holidays out at the German International School underneath that makeshift Christmas tree. The ladder with the Christmas decorations on it. Love it. If you want to get a shout out to your pet, snap a photo and email us at petoftheday@kgw.com. You do that and we give you the shout out. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. I mentioned on and off wet to the tune of maybe 2 to 3 inches of rain this week in Portland. So a definite soaker. And note the temperatures on Wednesday, cooling enough to allow snow in the Cascades, finally, up at the ski resorts and maybe as low as pass level at times in our 7-day forecast. All right, let's get you out the door with a look at the roads. The roads look wet. There's a live look right now. Highway 217 near Greenberg Road. We'll zoom in on that. A little slow and go, at least southbound there. Our speed sensors indicate that's moving along at about 18 miles an hour or so at last check. Obviously pretty wet on that side of town. As is that drive. That's northbound I-5 through the Terwilliger curves. At last check, your trip in from Wilsonville, 32 minutes. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. Take a look at this now. A Latin American tradition on full display in downtown Portland over the weekend. On Saturday, Director Park was the site of Portland's first ever public Las Posadas celebration. This is typically celebrated from December 16th to the 24th in countries like Mexico, El Salvador, and Honduras. The 9-day celebration represents the 9 months of pregnancy of the Virgin Mary, as well as her and Joseph's search for a place to stay during the birth of Jesus. Saturday's celebration featured a local artist space, cultural music, and food.
I just enjoy playing my horn. I've had this horn for 76 years.
This is another cool event from over the weekend. A local tuba player, still rocking, still rolling at 90 years old. We're going to take you back to his performance at the annual Tuba Christmas concert in downtown Portland. Plus, remembering longtime Hollywood actor and director Rob Reiner. He and his wife both found dead in their LA area home over the weekend. Reiner's son arrested this morning in connection with the couple stabbing. We'll have more on the story later this half hour.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We've just about reached the finish line. Today and tomorrow, the final 2 days of this year's KGW Great Toy Drive. So the toy box shop this morning, it's a little empty. We know that's a little empty, but here's the reason. Our Toy Drive elves spent the weekend bagging up many donations, clearing out the space there in the toy box for even more donations. Tomorrow is the Parade of Toys. That's when all the collection sites all around the area bring your donations right here to our studio. We're talking tens of thousands of toys heading our way tomorrow. It's not too late to make a difference though. You can make a cash donation online. Just go to kgw.com/toy. Click that Donate Cash button. A big thanks to everyone who's donated already, as well as our community partners and our Toy Drive sponsors this year. IQ Credit Union, Ziply Fiber, Fred Meyer, and local Toyota dealerships. All right, one man is still tooting his own horn at 90 years old. KGW photojournalist Nick Bieber caught up with him at the 34th annual Tuba Christmas concert this weekend at Pioneer Courthouse Square.
Welcome to beautiful downtown Portland and the square for the 31st annual Tuba Christmas concert.
If you haven't heard 350 tubas playing, you just haven't heard real music. My name is Rodney Graydon, and I'm 90 last September. I just enjoy playing my horn. I've had this horn for 76 years, and I just enjoy playing it.
I look forward to this time every year because it's really fun playing the Christmas songs, and it's always a great crowd. It's just a lot of fun. I'm Dan Graydon, and I'm Rod's son, and I've been coming to play with him since 2011. It's such an honor to be able to play with my dad in this concert.
We've got all the family here today because 90 might be, but I never say never.
Very cool story this weekend
Yes.
down there at Pioneer Courthouse Square. Again, they had the weather. They had the weather you wanted to see for that hour-and-a-half long
Dry,
free concert. Yes.
warm.
Yeah.
No freezing your lips to the mouthpiece. I don't know what they call that on the tuba.
The mouthpiece sounds right.
Yeah. We need Rod Hill, our brass expert, to be back here. He could answer that question for us.
48 hours later, here we are, different weather story.
Yeah, rainy for sure and also very warm. That story remains the same, and that's been the story so far for the month of December. Check this out. We are halfway through the month, and we are nearly 8 degrees above average for the whole month together here at PDX. Just remarkably, mind-bogglingly warm. Not only that, we may hit some more record highs today. Portland's record high at the airport is 59. We set that back in 1959. Downtown at 60. Salem's record 60. There's a good chance that those fall today. We have a very mild air mass out there. It's also a little stormy as well. As we check out radar over the last 3 hours, we have had some thunderstorms, some lightning strikes reported in that band of showers that tracked right through Clatsop County, Wahkiakum County, and now it's working its way on up into northern Cowlitz County and into the Washington Cascades. All right, we picked up almost a half an inch of rain here in downtown since midnight. The steady rain is going to start to taper off here, but we're still going to get peppered with frequent showers, and Futurecast bears that out for the first part of our day today. That said, this morning is the wettest part of our day. I think the showers become a little less numerous this afternoon. No less intense, though, and if you get stuck under one of these, it could be briefly heavy, and therein lies that slight chance of a thunder shower really anywhere west of the Cascades, but especially at the beach today. You'll also note that Futurecast wants to poke some holes in the cloud cover, and that may eventually be one thing that helps boost our temperatures and allow that gusty wind to get even gustier. I'll show you that in a second. Let's talk snow. It's been so warm, there's been no snow in the Cascades, like zero, zilch. There's nothing at Timberline, and as you look at Timberline, you got to look, 1,000 feet up the mountain before there's really anything on the ground. We think that changes this week, and not just for a day or two, but maybe a little bit of a pattern shift into more repeated cold enough weather to give us snow levels down well below the ski resorts and maybe even down to the passes. This is the latest run of the GFS model, and it has the snow level below 4,000 feet basically from Thursday right on through early next week, with a good chance that anything that does fall up there, of course, is going to be in the form of snow from the passes on up. Okay, we mentioned the wind advisory in the Coast Range. We've got a wind advisory also across portions of the Columbia Basin today. Gusty south winds. If we do manage some sun breaks today, I think there's a good chance that we realize these 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts in the valley. If we don't see sun, maybe not, but certainly a breezy day through the Coast Range. If you're traveling there today, just be alert that this is the kind of weather that could bring down a tree or some power lines too. 52 last check at PDX. You can see the plan for today has temperatures inching up towards 60 in town later today. 7-day forecast keeps us on and off wet throughout the week. The next good rainmaker with some pretty gusty wind arrives tomorrow evening. That'll be tapering off on Wednesday, and then another shot of rain Thursday and Friday. That will be in the form of snow, we think, up at the Cascade Ski Resorts. Okay, the drive this morning is wet. Let's go ahead and look at that drive. It's on and off wet here across the region and slow in a few places. I can zoom into one of them. I-5 up in North Portland. There's your southbound drive near the Expo Center. It's actually starting to improve a little bit from what we were looking at earlier. Right now, that's 25 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. We'll be right back.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We began the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise a few minutes ago with this morning's breaking news out of Hollywood. Police have arrested the 32-year-old son of longtime actor and director Rob Reiner in connection with the deadly stabbing on Sunday that killed both Reiner and his wife. Conan Nolan takes a look back at Rob Reiner's decades-long career, both in front of and behind the camera.
You have to be kidding! America first came to know him as the hippie son-in-law of the blue-collar bigot Archie Bunker, played by Carol O'Connor in the 70s TV comedy All in the Family. It ran for 9 seasons.
Boss, he's not my son, Gloria. I mean, get your hands off my daughter, you balloon!
While there were other acting roles, it was behind the camera that Rob Reiner had his cinematic impact, inventing the modern romantic comedy with Harry Met Sally with Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal. The often quoted The Princess Bride, which has been newly rediscovered by younger audiences. And the military courtroom classic A Few Good Men, where Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson faced off over a murder at the U.S. military base in Guantanamo, Cuba. He once told talk show host Howard Stern that he learned filmmaking from his father, Carl Reiner, himself an actor and screenwriter who had often worked with Steve Martin.
Now, I can tell you that it wasn't until, and this is now, I'm in my mid to late 30s,
it wasn't until I did Stand By Me that I started feeling myself. And I thought, okay, I'm carved. I mean, a long, long time it took me to start to carve out my own
identity.
world. Yes.
Reiner was also active in politics. He routinely helped raise money for the Democratic Party. In 1998, he single-handedly championed Proposition 10, a 50-cent per pack tax on cigarettes to finance child education and health programs. He was also a fierce critic of President Trump. This was Reiner on the Jimmy Fallon Show during the president's first term in office.
Unless the public is informed, we don't have a chance to hold this democracy together. So we're trying, we're fighting, and, you know, hopefully we will, because we love this country and we don't want to see it devolve.
Recently releasing Spinal Tap 2, a sequel 4 decades following his first movie, a satirical send-up of the then popular rock documentary. Rob Reiner was a virtuoso whose intent was to make his audiences laugh, understand life, and to take a stand. To many, he was the best of Hollywood.
Starting today, the city of Portland is filling ruts and potholes on some of the unpaved gravel streets around the city. Exactly where and the impacts to parking coming up at 8:30. And flooding at this cafe in Virginia, not because of weather, not because of a broken water pipe. The blame falls on a cat. Yeah, true story. The details for you coming up in our next half hour.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm Drew Carney. The Hood River County Sheriff's Office suspended the search for a 26-year-old man who was last seen trying to climb Mount Hood. The Sheriff's Office says Matthew Aldridge reportedly kept climbing up the mountain by himself, even though 2 other climbers with him turned back because of declining conditions. Phone data suggests that Aldridge fell at some point. The search is now considered a recovery mission. Chris McGinnis in the Weather Center. What do you have for us, Chris?
Well, we've got rain out there, right? It's been a steady soaking this morning, but the rain beginning to taper off here, and I think that will continue to be the case as we go through the day. This is the wettest part of our day, but the rain will become a little more punctuated with showers and occasional dry time, that is. One thing I want to point out here is we look at the Wells Fargo sky camera. Look at the flag at the top of the Umpqua Bank building there, down in the bottom part of your screen. That is really snapping out of the south. The breeze at the airport right now is out of the east-southeast, but all of us will eventually feel a gusty south breeze today to go along with very mild temperatures. Record-setting warmth, we think, actually. Today's record high is 59. I've got us at 60 with occasional showers.
Well, this is the final week of the annual Christmas Ships Parade along the Willamette and Columbia Rivers. These are new photos from the Associated Press that capture some of the best boat designs and decorations this year, including a boat decorated as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and one with floating jellyfish. The final nights of parading set for tomorrow through Sunday. There is more information at christmasships.org. With that, we say good morning. Welcome to the 8:30 half hour of the Sunrise Show. I'm Drew Carney. Chris McGinnis right there in the Weather Center with our first look this half hour at weather.
Rain this morning giving way to occasional showers and sun breaks this afternoon, and in between it's going to be a breezy and mild day. I think that pretty well summarizes our Monday. I'll step out of the way. I want to show you the Wells Fargo sky camera because we're getting some breaks in the clouds now as we expected. But also look at the bottom of your screen. That's the top of the Umpqua Bank building with that U.S. flag there that is now snapping in that south breeze. The breeze at the airport is still out of the east or southeast, but in downtown it has swung around to the south and really started to pick up. And that's going to be a story as we go through the day today. Breezy for sure. 52 last check at PDX. We'll go down to the state capitol. It's 54 right now in Salem, where the breeze is out of the south, sustained at 18. There could be some gusts to 30 from time to time in the Willamette Valley. And in the higher terrain of the Coast Range, there is a wind advisory today until 4 o'clock. So this is one of those days you really need to pay attention when you're driving through the Coast Range. With wind gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour, there could be a down tree or a power line or something like that in some of the higher terrain there. All right, our forecast today, as we mentioned, today is the wettest part of this morning is the wettest part of our day. Rainy and breezy out there the remainder of the way with occasional showers and sun breaks. And I've got daytime highs today up near 60. By the way, today's record high is 59. So there you go, our third 60-degree day in the month of December. Let's get you out the door with a look at the roads. The roads are wet and slow in some places. Let's go ahead and zoom in on North Portland. Actually, the speed sensor here I think is a little misleading because that was a few minutes ago. The end of the line has made its way down to about Columbia Boulevard. We're still looking at a 25-minute commute to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont. There's some breaks in the clouds and the rain on the west side. There's the Sylvan Hill right now. Highway 26 is about 22 minutes now to get you in from Hillsborough. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. We want to get back to the latest on the historic flooding that's hit Washington, specifically the northwest part of the state, extremely hard over the past week. The city of Auburn ordered nearly 1,000 people to evacuate. So residents are packing up and trying to get out as fast as they can, but it has not been easy to leave by car as floodwaters there are both deep and unpredictable.
So I took a left and I was like, the water's not that high. So I was like, you know what, maybe I can maneuver through it. Nope, it started flooding the car, the engine stopped working.
In Skagit County, people are still cleaning up from the record flooding. One family in Burlington says they found 3 feet of water inside their home on Friday. Just 10 days earlier, that same family had given birth to their third child.
Very joyful moments, but at the same time, you know, we have those breaks where we see the cameras and we see the devastation, you know, not only to our house, but, you know, the people around us.
The federal government approved funding for Washington that would allow the state to recover up to 75% of damage costs, but an exact dollar amount has not yet been determined. First responders in Lincoln County along the Oregon coast are working to learn more about a landslide that forced Highway 229 to close last week. The sheriff's office says 10 homes between Kernville and Siletz remain under an evacuation notice. So far, we know 2 homes have been damaged. ODOT says it's not clear how long this closure of Highway 229 will last. So at this point, they're telling people to use Highway 101. The sheriff's office also says if you find any personal items washed up nearby, you can report them at the county's emergency number or non-emergency number. Again, call the non-emergency number to report those missing items. Multnomah County declared a state of emergency because of ice activity. So local cities like Salem, Hillsborough, Woodburn, and Washington County as well, they've all taken similar action already. This declaration by Multnomah County gives the county more flexibility to request assistance from the state, respond to federal impacts, and connect people with local resources. This week, county commissioners will also consider allocating $250,000 for legal and human services. Here's more on this from County Commissioner Shannon Singleton during a meeting last week.
And now, earlier this morning, ICE took 2 more people from my district. These are 2 more people taken from our community and invoking ongoing fear and sadness. As I know we are collectively in a protective mode, it's understandable that we feel this way, and during these times we need to focus on strengthening this precious safety net.
Commissioner Singleton and County Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson also plan to introduce a resolution to bolster the county's sanctuary status. So they're going to hold a virtual town hall and listening session on the proposed sanctuary policy updates later today. The city of Waldport along the Oregon coast is also sending a message to ICE. Last Wednesday, city leaders unanimously passed this resolution saying the city is opposed to housing federal agents. It also states that the city would take all action necessary to try and discourage a local hotel owner from signing a deal with the feds. Rumors had started on the coast that ICE had offered a contract to the owner of the Giant All-Sea Resort. That's the largest hotel in Waldport. City manager Dan Cutter spoke to the hotel's owner on the phone, urging him to not take that contract.
I really just laid out the kind of strong, vehement opposition that so many residents in the city had. And I tried to explain that, a short-term government contract, while it might provide, riches in the short term, he really needed to be thinking about this business in the long term.
Cutter says the resort's owner is an immigrant who's been here in the U.S. for a long time. They say he ultimately agreed not to sign that contract with ICE, at least for the time being. New this morning, the city of Portland is ramping up efforts to smooth out gravel streets all around town starting today. So crews are going to work to improve 50 miles worth of gravel streets beginning in southeast Portland. Here's Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz with more.
PBOT says throughout this project, they'll be filling in potholes and smoothing out roads. They'll also add gravel if some streets need it. This is something they've been doing since 2018, serving more than 5,000 Portland residences. This year, the work will start in southeast Portland in neighborhoods like Richmond, Hosford-Abernathy, and Buckman. After that, crews will move north of Division Street and into north and northeast Portland later this month. So if you live in these neighborhoods, look for no parking signs, which PBOT says they'll put out a few days beforehand. Traffic could also be limited during the work. Most of the construction is going to happen during the week from 7 to 4 p.m. It could stretch into the weekend, though, if need be. And PBOT says most of these projects will take a day to complete, so just be on the lookout for PBOT working over the next few months. In downtown Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
All right, from Thomas downtown, we turn to Chris McGinnis in the Weather Center. What's happening there, Chris?
You love weather trivia, don't you?
I do. Go ahead.
Okay, normal high for this time of the year.
It is, I will tell you, Chris, it's 48 degrees.
Really good.
What do you got?
47.
Close.
Pretty good.
I'm within 2 degrees. I think that's a winner.
And we are already 5 degrees above that as the sun is just coming up. So the point is today is going to be another very warm day across the region. Look at this. I mean, usually the cold spots of the state, not even below freezing this morning. In Burns at 33, Pendleton's at 57, and the Oregon coast in the mid to upper 50s. What is the weather impact of that? Nearly 8 degrees above normal for the month of December thus far. We're halfway through the month, and we're about to notch our third 60-degree day this month. Here are some records that may be within reach today. Eugene, probably not, but Astoria, Utah had a record of 59, I think, yesterday. 62 is within reach. And Salem, downtown Portland, and PDX, all of those are within reach today. So a very mild air mass in play. In fact, Futurecast has Portland at 60 between 1 and 2 o'clock this afternoon. The other story, of course, is the rain. We've been peppered with pretty good rain this morning. The rain beginning to break up a little bit in favor of, let's go with occasional showers and maybe even a little thunder. The wettest part of our day is this morning. Futurecast does back off on the rain coverage as we go into this afternoon. So that's facet number 2. And last but not least, the wind. We do have a high wind warning along the central and north Oregon coast and south Washington coast until 1 o'clock, and a wind advisory in the coast range until 4. We could have some pretty gusty winds there. Futurecast likes numerous gusts of 40, 50 plus. And you start talking about those types of winds, especially in the coast range where we've had all that rain, that could be enough to bring down a tree somewhere or maybe some power lines. So just be mindful of that if you're driving through the coast range today. But even here in the valley, that 25, 30 mile an hour gust is going to be noticeable in between any rain showers that we have today. Record warmth today, a rainy day tomorrow, especially tomorrow night and into Wednesday. That's the next soaker. And then Thursday, Friday, we cool off a bit. That allows for some snow in the Cascades. Drew?
All right, Chris, we appreciate that. Let's talk about the Blazers real quick here because they were back home last night after 5 games on the road, taking on Steph Curry and the Warriors. This was actually a great game for the home team. Jeremy Grant and Shaedon Sharpe both with 35 points last night. Now, Steph Curry had a terrific game too. 48 points for Steph, a season high, 12 three-pointers, but that one-man show not enough to stop the Blazers' full team effort. Final score last night, Blazers 136, Golden State 131. Still ahead on Sunrise, the sudden closure of a local surrogacy center leaves families and surrogates out thousands of dollars. We're going to have more details after the break.
Hey, our team tests tons of products, and this one is gonna save you headaches, and it's also gonna save you money, which is my favorite. It's this thing right here. It's called the Picture Keeper Connect. It's small, but it's powerful. It takes the photos and videos from your phone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, take it from a laptop or a PC, and it will store it right on here, up to 4,000 photos and videos on this little thing. And look at all the different adapters it comes with. It has the Lightning, it has the mini USB, it has the USB-C, and it has the regular USB. True story, a couple of weeks ago, my dog, look at him right now. Look at that dog. I tried to take a photo of him in that position. It wouldn't let me because I had run out of storage space, so I immediately had to buy more, which is annoying. Picture Keeper Connect, you don't have to buy anymore. And then there's the original Picture Keeper drive. This is perfect if you want a secure backup you can keep at home, even in a fireproof safe. This one can store up to 8,000 photos or 500 videos, depending on the size you choose. Same intelligent software, same ability to work across devices, same peace of mind. And here's the best part, no Wi-Fi, no passwords, no subscriptions needed. It can't get hacked because it's not in the cloud. You own it. We have a great deal on this for you today, up to 70% off, $30 to $40 depending on the model you choose. Just scan the QR code on your screen or head to shoptvdeals.com.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Local organizations are reaching out to help dozens of families and surrogates who say they're out thousands of dollars from the sudden closure of a surrogacy center in Camas. Some people told NBC News that another local agency, Northwest Surrogacy Center, says that several former clients of Surro Connections have reached out to them asking to transfer their contracts. The agency also says that it's hearing from some overseas clients who want to make sure that their surrogates get paid, even though Surro Connections hasn't returned their escrow money.
They had lost some money in agency fees that they paid Surro Connections, and they'd also lost an initial payment to their escrow account. Another family that I spoke with is at about halfway through their pregnancy, but they are able to move forward and support their surrogate.
There's another nonprofit support group called Men Having Babies that's also saying that it's identified at least 80 people affected by the closure of Surro Connections. All right, in D.C., the House is expected to vote on a health care package this week that was unveiled last Friday. Now, this proposal does not extend the soon-to-expire Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies. Instead, it focuses on enhancing access to employer-sponsored health insurance plans and clamping down on so-called pharmacy benefit managers. Those are third-party administrators of prescription drugs. Two competing health care proposals failed to advance in the Senate last week. By the way, the Affordable Care Act subsidies are set to expire here at the end of the month. And one more national story for you before we get back to our local weather. White Castle is recalling over 1,000 cases of its frozen original sliders because of undeclared allergens. The company says the packages may contain jalapeno cheese sliders, which contain milk and soy, allergens that are not listed on the packaging. These cartons were sold nationwide, mainly in convenience stores. They have a best by date of April 18th of next year. If you have any of these packages, you can return them to the store you got them at for a full refund. Live look outside now from our Timberline Lodge sky cam. Some cloudy conditions up there, some foggy conditions up there on the mountain this morning. We're still waiting for snow, of course, and Oregon's ski season to get underway. Chris McGinnis with more on this.
And that is an appropriate segue to this graphic, which we've been talking about the potential of snow returning to the mountain. And this is the latest run of the GFS model, which goes out obviously about 16 days. I'm going to pick it up middle of this week, because there is where we see a significant drop in the snow level, we think, from way above timberline, where it's been since the start of December, to down below pass level. And that transition seems to happen sometime Wednesday into Thursday, and then it stays right at or below pass level heading into the upcoming weekend. What does that mean? That means that we might actually see several rounds of meaningful snow at the Cascade ski resorts. Let's walk you through the week here. This is tomorrow night's storm, by the way. We have a busy week. We're getting soaked this morning with some showers and maybe even a couple of thunder showers for the first part of today. We'll get a lull, and then we'll turn our attention to tomorrow night's storm. This comes in, this will be rain in the Cascades. But as that drops south, it lowers the snow level so that the subsequent systems that come in later in the week, like Thursday and Friday, look at this. This is a European model, and we've got snow, across most of the Oregon to Washington Cascades. Maybe a quick jump in the snow levels on Friday, and then they drop back down again as we go into the weekend. All right, let's talk about rainfall. This is not all coming at us in one big shot, but the week as a whole is going to be pretty wet. Now, mind you, we've already picked up about a half an inch of this, but between now and Friday, maybe another 2 inches of rain here in Portland. A really wet second week of December. And there's a good bet that some of this that you see up in the Cascades above 4,000 feet will fall as snow. That's good news. So that's what we've got to look forward to midweek. Tomorrow's going to be another windy night. We'll check that out in a second. And today, of course, is just rainy and breezy and quite mild as well, with record-setting temperatures in the forecast today. Here are today's records, by the way. Salem 60, downtown PDX 60, the airport 59, and all of those are obtainable. In fact, it's already 52 right now at PDX. Check out the breeze right now at the top of the Umpqua Bank building. You can see the flag there snapping in that south breeze. The breeze at the airport is southeasterly, but it's more due south in downtown, and that breeze is going to pick up. So we've got a wind advisory in the Coast Range and a high wind warning for the North Oregon and South Washington coast today. Wind gusts could be on the order of 50 miles an hour there. That is strong enough. Be mindful if you're driving through the Coast Range. That could be enough to bring down a tree or a power line, especially when you consider all the rain that we've had recently and the rain that we're still going to pick up. Okay, the wind subsides this evening for the west side. Still gusty, though, across the eastern part of the state. That will eventually subside as well. And then that next system tomorrow comes in with more gusty winds. So you get the idea. I mean, it's a very active weather pattern with on and off rain chances, soaking rains, very warm temperatures, and wind as well. The wind threat begins to subside later in the week, and the temperatures drop, and therein lies the chance for getting some Cascade snow, which appropriately is arriving as winter arrives. The first day of winter is Sunday. Sunday morning is the winter solstice. All right, let's get you out the door with a look at the roads real quick. The roads still look as they have for the last little while, wet, although not as wet as they were looking earlier this morning. So I suppose we've got some improvement out there. Right now, I-5 from Clark County, that's a little misleading. The end of the line has made its way across the Interstate Bridge, but once you get to North Portland, it's slow and steady the rest of the way down into the Rose Quarter. There's Highway 26. You can see the breeze there shaking the evergreen trees out near the Sylvan Hill. 23 minutes now, the drive in from Hillsboro. Drew?
And now, Chris, it's birthday time. Birthday time on the Sunrise Show this morning starts with a 1-year-old by the name of Cameron. Look how excited Cameron is. to celebrate birthday number 1. Happy birthday, Cameron. Next up, Diana in Salem, celebrating 2 years of age. Then we're going to jump it up a bit. Annie is 40 years young today. Happy birthday, Annie. Sam's up next, hanging out with a little friend, celebrating 42 years young. Scott is 51. Happy birthday, Scott. Not quite as old as the man on his shirt there. Christina is 68 today. Happy birthday to you, Christina. Steve in Vancouver, 77. Happy birthday, buddy. And then we wrap up the list with Sharon, who's 80 years old today. If you have a birthday shout out you'd like us to share on the air, you can send us an email. It's birthdays@kgw.com.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Here's a recap of some of this morning's top local stories. Portland police stepping up patrols at local Jewish events and places of worship in response to a mass shooting at a Hanukkah event in Australia over the weekend. The attack in the city of Sydney killed 15 people and sent more than 24 others to the hospital. The city of Portland is working to improve 50 miles worth of gravel roads around town starting today in southeast Portland neighborhoods like Richmond, Hosford, Abernathy, and Buckman. So if your neighborhood is getting some work done, you should definitely keep an eye out for no parking signs. Traffic may also be limited during this work. Most of it will happen between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. The Hood River County Sheriff's Office has suspended the search for a 26-year-old man who was last seen trying to climb Mount Hood. The Sheriff's Office says Matthew Aldridge reportedly kept climbing up the mountain by himself, even though 2 other climbers who were with him had turned back because of declining conditions. Phone data suggests that Aldridge fell at some point, but efforts to find him both on the ground and in the air have been unsuccessful. The search is now considered a recovery mission.
Okay, we've got a high wind warning along the North Oregon and South Washington coast until 1 o'clock. A wind advisory in the Coast Range. Gusty winds may be in excess of 50 miles an hour there. Here in the valley, it'll be breezy and warm. Though that is a look at some of the records that are in jeopardy today. I've got Portland actually topping out at 60, the record high 59. So really warm to go along with the occasional showers out there. It's a wet work week ahead for sure. All right, the drive this morning has been wet. But it's starting to dry out, and the drive times are starting to improve a little bit. Let's get a look at some of them. Right now, you're tripping from Troutdale, 25 minutes. The drive north from Wilsonville to downtown, 32 minutes.
All right, last story this morning on the Sunrise Show, not just a catastrophe, a cat-tastrophe at this Virginia Cat Cafe. The owners say they believe that Roller, a 5-month-old tuxedo cat, is responsible for flooding the shop and causing significant damage.
We believe that he moved the towel into the drain and then turned on the faucet here. So the towel plugged the drain, the faucet could not drain out, and everything just overflowed.
But why, Roller? Why? What's the motive here? The cafe is temporarily closed while the owners repair the floors and the walls. Lots of damage again. The cats, by the way, that called this cafe home are all in foster homes for now. That includes Roller.
Is that Roller right there?
I believe so. The tuxedo cat, who apparently he's still hanging out by this. Yeah, get out of that sink, Roller.
He looks mischievous.
Get out of that sink. He should not be allowed near any sinks or any towels that could clog up a sink. My goodness. Again, that story comes your way from Virginia.
He's very cute.
That doesn't cut it, Chris.
That doesn't cut it when you have tens of thousands of dollars of flooding
Hey,
repair bills.
You know who's back tomorrow?
Rodney!
Rod Hill.
I've missed you.
First time in, I believe, 13 days.
3 months.
Yeah, he'll be part of the Sunrise Show. Chris will be here with your traffic, of course. Rod's back with the weather. China has the day off tomorrow, so I'll be here covering all of your news for you. We hope to see you again tomorrow morning. Before we go away, just a quick reminder, we have some new additions to the KGW Plus newscast lineup. We have live shows every weekday, both at 12:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. Thanks for watching us on KGW Plus.